What you should do is go to your DraftKings or whatever and tell me the F1 odds. Or share your screen while you do it if you want. Share your screen.
Can I even do that in Skype?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I see it.
You see it?
I see all your prawn tabs.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
That's not F1 pinned. You've done it wrong.
Because I haven't gone to it yet. Jeez, dude.
Motorsports.
You said English Premier League, right?
I said motorsports. I demand it.
You said water sports?
Yes, water sports. Howdy, it's Wednesday, March 16th, 2022, and this is episode 169 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Eskin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
We have something very good to talk about, but I won't spoil it.
That's right. Marketing department put us under very strict orders.
Yes, after the ad break.
After the ad break.
We've used this joke like 6 episodes in a row, I think.
That's not a joke. It's how we make our living.
We're just waiting for the ads to come in. We're waiting for that ad network. We keep the placeholder in place, and then every episode I have to take it out because we don't get any ads.
It's very sad.
It is.
But
so that's not what's good.
If you would like to advertise on Due for a Win and have like 75 cents burning a hole in your pocket, reach out to Craig.
75 cents. I'll need more than that. I need at least 76 cents.
So in 1869, the Shelburne Hotel opened at Park Place in the Boardwalk, and you have linked to the Wikipedia article about the Shelburne Hotel. And let me tell you, it looks really good.
It does look good.
It's the flag on top, I think, that like really makes this picture. It's just beautiful.
So yeah, the Shelburne, now the location of the Wild Wild West Atlantic City.
I mean, this looks a bit like the Dennis, I have to say, but
yeah, I think it's across from the Dennis, or I'm not entirely sure how that works, because you know, the Wild Wild West is certainly the Dennis. I guess the Dennis doesn't take up the whole width of the Wild Wild West. It must be, you know, if you're going south on the boardwalk, just south of the Dennis. I think that has to be where it is. I mean, that would be where the Wild Wild West is. So that makes perfect sense. Wikipedia does say that it's at Park Place and the Boardwalk. That is wrong. It's at Michigan Avenue and the Boardwalk. Come on now, Wikipedia. Should go in and correct that for Wikipedia.
Had a good run, 1869 to 1984.
That is quite a long run.
Good run. It's not Dennis Hotel long run, but nothing could ever beat the Dennis.
But yeah, another one of those hotels that got into the 70s and 80s and got bought to be built
demolished
as a casino. Hotel. Yeah, demolished and built as a casino. The casino that it was supposed to be,
the Carousel Club Hotel and Casino,
which I'd never even heard of as a thing.
I haven't either.
And I've read stuff about like all the proposed, never completed Atlantic City stuff, and I've just never heard of this Carousel Club. So, yeah.
Also, terrible news in 1869. I guess sort of founder, visionary of Atlantic City, Dr. Jonathan Pitney, passed away, unfortunately.
His Twitter account lives on. Is
there a Dr. Jonathan Pitney Twitter? I need to follow this.
Yeah, he talks all about Atlantic City. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Big Atlantic City supporter, as was the original Dr. Jonathan Pitney.
Yes, I must follow.
So yeah, he's the one who was like, this is a health resort. You should all come here. Atlantic City's amazing, when it was just like, you know, some cows that they had to like drag through the water every day. And there was nothing else there.
We can thank him for that wonderful content from a couple episodes ago. But
yeah, he was like, you know, the big cheerleader who
made Atlantic City happen.
Wrote all about Atlantic City and how great it was. So I thought about making my Reddit username Dr. Jonathan Pitney, and then I saw that, you know, there was already a Twitter user Dr. Jonathan Pitney, and I was like, nah, can't do it. That shtick has been taken. Can't go there.
Heartbreaking. If only he could see the beautiful city it has grown into.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
What happened in 1969?
I only got one thing, but it was a big thing. The Atlantic City Pop Festival, which happened August 1st through 3rd at the Atlantic City Racecourse. We had somebody email us asking us to do a whole history segment about the Atlantic City Racecourse, but I feel wholly inequipped to do that. This was 2 weeks before Woodstock in 1969, More than 100,000 people attended. Music acts included, not in order of importance, Santana, Creedence Clearwater Revival, B.B. King, Janis Joplin, Little Richard, Three Dog Night, Jefferson Airplane, Chicago, The Byrds, Joni Mitchell, and many, many more.
That's a pretty loaded lineup, I have to say.
It is. I also learned in this research that the Atlantic City Racecourse is in Mays Landing. It's not in Atlantic City, so this concert didn't even happen in Atlantic City.
I thought it was in Hamilton. I thought I've... Race
Mays Landing is in Hamilton Township.
Okay.
Yes, this is New Jersey's township.
Because that's where I get on the AC Expressway every time I go.
Yeah, it's like right on Route 40.
Beautiful Hamilton Mall or whatever. I have to drive right by it.
Yeah, I think it was right next to the Hamilton Mall. I think the race course was right next to it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? We should have gone when we should have gone. Negative if only 14 years old.
Alive. It's quite the lineup, I have to say.
How many of these bands are still kicking?
I mean, Santana is like still touring, right? He's still huge.
I mean, he had that song with Rob Thomas. That was like 25 years ago.
I feel like he's still around.
Probably. Is Creedence Clearwater Revival still doing stuff?
I'm not sure.
Did Certainly, B.B. King finally die? Is that?
I think he's died. Janis Joplin died a long time ago. Little Richard, I think, just passed away not too long ago.
Somebody is going to be like, all these people are still alive. You guys are
like, probably. What? No. I'm quite sure that at least those three are dead. So.
All right, so that's the history. We have a correction. Well, not really a correction, but a terrible...
I'm sure I'm being corrected, by the way, about what I just said.
Yeah, so we'll do another correction.
It'll be all the better because of my confidence, though.
Yes, oh yeah, being like loudly and confidently wrong.
Yes,
is
the best way to be wrong. The only way to be wrong, frankly.
So in last episode, we talked about the AC pool scene and how it was lacking. And we mentioned Borgata, we mentioned Ocean. Somehow we did not mention the Harrah's pool, the pool as it is called.
I mean, it's not like the most iconic pool in Atlantic City. I think it's a very reasonable oversight.
It's that big dome. It is interesting that anytime I go by during the day, it doesn't seem super crowded.
Yeah, it's just a pool during the day, I think. It's a legitimate just a pool.
It's sweet. It's got the big dome over it, the glass dome. Nice and warm in there, even in the winter. Get your, whatever you call it, lounger chair, deck chair thing. But apparently, it costs money to get in, even if you're a hotel guest.
Even during the day?
Waived if you're Diamond. Yeah, even during the day. I think it's $20 per room.
Let me tell you, last time I checked, which was this morning, I am still Diamond, so...
Same. Can't say that for everybody. We'll get more into that.
Well, yeah, later. After the break.
This is the hot topic of discussion, so we really have to let it linger.
That's right. So, anyway, speaking of hot topics of discussion, when are we going to Atlantic City?
We are going to Atlantic City in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, less than a week and a half, really.
Yeah, so what are those dates?
25th to 26th? One night, next Friday to Saturday?
Is it just one night?
Okay, so you tell me. I am staying for one night.
So I brought it up with my wife and said, I'll either come back, Saturday evening sometime or Sunday. And she was like, why would you come back Saturday? To which I was immediately like, clearly I should stay until Sunday. Except the rooms are expensive.
You had every opportunity to tell me to book you Gold Nugget. I don't know why you didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's worth being there alone.
Craig.
Plus...
No, I figured it out. This is what we're doing. You're staying until Sunday, and I will pay for your room, and you don't need to worry about anything beyond that.
Because it's at the Irish pub.
That is correct.
I actually looked at the Chelsea pub and inn, which apparently is nice, by the way, the Chelsea inn. It was like $200-something bucks, and I was like, that's a lot.
The Irish pub, I think, is like $25 or something?
No.
Probably like $45 for a shared like room with like the bathroom down the hall or whatever.
I bet it's more than that on a Saturday night.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I will pay. I
don't think I can stay at the Irish pub. I don't think I can do that.
Come on.
That's not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun.
You proclaim to love it.
I love the bar, which is where I would go alone
to get wasted and then just pass out in some room somewhere. It's fine.
That's true. My whole debate, so I need to leave very early on Sunday if I stay. Uh-huh. And I can't just go back to my beautiful hometown of Hoboken. I have to get to my in-laws, which is one town over from podcast sponsor Clark, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And that's like southwest of the city. And there's no way really to get there without going all the way back up to at least Newark and then taking a train back out. So I would either have to like take the bus up or the train up and then go back out, or rent a car from Newark Airport, which costs an extra
terrible.
like $80 because of all the extra tax and fees. So it's like, is the inconvenience of that worth the extra full night in Atlantic City? But also, you know, that gets you an extra dinner. It gets you the ability to drink more during the day. Well, I'll probably take the bus if I go.
I thought you were talking about taking a 7 p.m. bus, which would allow you to both eat dinner and drink during the day.
That's true. There is a 7 p.m. bus. It's our bus. If you don't know the deal with our bus, they don't have their own buses. They just partner with other bus companies. And so there's a bus company that runs 1-day tours. You pay for a round trip, and it's basically like, here's the pickup time at these 8 different places, and then we'll take you to these 3 casinos. And then you gotta check in by 6:30 p.m. at one of these 3 casinos to get back on the bus. So you can do the check-in part through our bus. But it makes it sound so confusing. I do not, like, this sounds like so much added stress to be like going to one of these casinos. It says like, go to the desk and ask for this bus company and tell them that you're checking in.
I'm sure it would be fine. What's the worst thing that happens? I pay for a night, a few at the Irish pub?
That's true. But I think my plan right now is to see if Tropicana or O'Hara's become comped for just me. And if that happens, I figure, okay, that's worth it. I'll just do it. And then I'll figure out from there. I can wake up and take a 7:30 train to Philly and then take a train up to somewhere in Central Jersey.
That sounds terrible. Terrible.
It would be fine. It would be shorter than the time that it takes me to get home if I go on the bus.
I would take the 7 p.m. hour bus, I think.
That's definitely the default. But the extra night, it just sounds so good. The extra night sounds so good.
I don't think you get that much from leaving at, 6 a.m. the next day, personally. But it's just me.
Yeah, maybe. I'll figure it out, and no one will know because we won't have an episode before then.
Right. So, where are we going to stay if we're going to Atlantic City? Other than the Irish pub, obviously.
Well, we have 2 places booked, Ocean and Resorts.
Uh-huh.
We thought about Harrah's and Nugget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it, because we stayed on the marina last time.
I would have pushed, I think, for Harrah's and Nugget if we could have gotten Atrium, but denied.
Before last weekend, we had the classic Caesars week of comps, and it started for me as just Harrah's comped on Friday and Saturday, and then it went to everything comped, and then by like Thursday, it was like any room at any hotel comped. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So it's possible that we totally do 180 on these room plans, which is like my favorite thing in trip planning for AC is like constantly being like, ooh, can I get a little upgrade?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
If Atrium comes available, I mean, I'd have to call Golden Nugget because that's how it works, but we can see if I can get you there, and I could get you there for 2 nights. I mean, God only knows how you get from Golden Nugget to the train station at 7 a.m. or whatever, but...
I think I'd rent a car in that situation.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was very expensive to rent a car.
It is. But I mean, the train is going to be like $100. So
yeah,
at some point.
Our bus is cheap though.
Yeah, it's $35. It's not that cheap. Gas prices, man, they'll get you.
30, but don't you get a slot voucher or whatever?
Not if you only do it going home.
Oh, how would you come down?
Probably Greyhound, which would get me a slot voucher.
Why don't you just do our bus round trip? Wouldn't it be cheaper? Or is it...
The our bus timings are not great. The our bus timing to leave is not great. Too late. I can't wait until 11. I gotta be on the 10:30. Gotta be on the 10:30.
Fair. I understand now. I think you said enough.
So, we mentioned having resorts in Ocean. Mm-hmm. I did bring up offline that we don't have to have 2 rooms, if we have 2 beds.
Uh-huh.
The downside, of course, is that then we feel obligated to play in both places.
Uh-huh. And by we, you mean the person who's booked these rooms? Yes, go on.
Yeah, whoever that person is.
Yes, whichever one of us it was.
So, like, we each have a room booked, and, like, we would really feel obligated
yes,
to play at the casino that we're staying at.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question, because you booked Ocean, and you booked a 2-queen room at Resorts, is, are we getting the most utility by splitting our play between Ocean and Resorts, or are we better off just both staying at Resorts and getting all of our play at Resorts and not even having to worry about any Ocean time?
No, I don't think so. I think it's better to have rooms at 2 different casinos.
Do you like having the rooms in 2 different casinos because you like the splitting time, or do you just really want your own room?
No, I think It's not that I like the splitting time, though it's fine. Playing at 2 casinos, I think, is like a good number of casinos to feel like you can play at during a trip or whatever, or should play at. I like having my own room, so yeah.
What if it's the room with 2 bathrooms?
It's not really a bathroom thing. I don't care about bathrooms.
Oh, it's definitely a bathroom thing for me. That's why I bring it up. That was where I was going with that. So who's staying where?
I was thinking that I have not stayed in Ocean in a really long time, just by getting to Ocean rooms a lot. So I think I was going to plan on staying at Ocean, and I would put you at Resorts.
I'm totally fine with that. I was thinking that you prefer.
I got you Rendezvous Tower because I know
I do like the Rendezvous Tower.
Can't get enough of the Rendezvous Tower. That's why I booked that room specific.
The one thing I really want to do at Ocean, jumping around on the agenda here, is the Nola's Bar. So that's one thing if one of us is staying at Ocean.
Yep.
Which is something that you probably care nothing about, like going and getting a late night cocktail. I would probably like go after you went to bed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean,
then stumble back to Resorts.
Yeah.
But it looks nice. I need to do some reconnaissance on it and see if they actually have good cocktails. It's open until 3 a.m. It checks a lot of boxes of things that my brother and I really want in an Atlantic City trip. And he was really lamenting the lack of.
What's your brother doing?
I think he's on solo child duty.
Makes it even easier to come to Atlantic City.
I did say that, kids love the ocean pool. But I think he's off Atlantic City.
He's done with it.
There's other places he'd rather go. Better food, better drinks, which I can't fathom.
Sure.
But if you really care about, going and getting really good drinks.
What's Dave doing next weekend?
I have no idea.
He could be staying in that Resorts room with you.
Taking care of his puppy. That is what he's doing.
Sounds like something he specifically doesn't need to be doing. Someone needs to do.
That is true. So, I don't know. I have other questions listed here, but I don't think we need to get into them. Like, where do we want to end our nights? Who really cares?
I don't understand why that's a question.
And so, I guess, my concern about the Ocean thing was like, if I was staying at Ocean, you'd be potentially like burning your Ocean comps, but I don't think that's going to be an issue.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I'll be burning either set of comps or whatever. I think it'll be fine.
I think we've proven that you can lose enough at Resorts in about 15 minutes to be totally fine with
I feel like there's been a lot of times that I've booked a Resorts room or whatever, either for myself or for someone else, and I have gambled there for like 45 minutes, but I've lost so much in that 45 minutes that they're still happy. So.
They know, yeah. They know. They're like, this guy booked this room.
Yeah.
We're just going to take his money real quick, and then it's fine. He can keep.
The situation is not quite as bad as the craps situation I talked about on the last trip at Golden Nugget, but like I've definitely had some craps experiences at Resorts that were very similar to that. So, where it's like, oh yeah, like $600 just gone in like half hour or something. Great.
Like your theoretical for nights that you book a room at Resorts.
It's pretty low.
Be saying it's low, but
the
actual
it's
quite
huge.
high. Especially on a per hour basis. It's just crazy high. What about stuff you want to do, places you want to go? We picked Boardwalk over Marina. What are the things you want to do? I
mean, I see that you have a list that is sort of prompting me a little bit. And
I always have a list.
Doherty's Happy Hour, which sounds good to me. It definitely was fantastic last time we went. I will absolutely do it again. I mentioned that there is a breakfast place kind of just north of Ocean, kind of near whatever that pizza place is that's very popular.
Tony Baloney's.
There's
a breakfast place?
Supposedly pretty good. It's like bagels and more or something. I will do the tapping like the people always demand of me.
You've mentioned a few places. You mentioned the breakfast place. You mentioned a couple Mexican places.
Yeah, a couple Mexican places. Let's see. Hot bagels and more. Yes, apparently it's good. Off of New Hampshire. Quite close to the end of Atlantic City, I guess.
I love me some bagels.
Yeah, so that could be good. You could do a little breakfast there, see what it's like. Yeah, I could do Poncho's down next to White House. I could do the other Mexican restaurant that's right next to the outlets as well.
Is that called Los Amigos?
That sounds right. It's called Mexican Restaurant on Google Maps.
Google Maps,
I know.
Yeah, it's Los Amigos, but you're right. It says, when you go to Google Maps, it just says Mexican restaurant. Hey, if you're going to Google Mexican restaurant, it takes you right there.
I like that we say this when I know that the only place I'm ever going to actually eat is Dunkin' Donuts at Resorts, but we can pretend.
I did list in the notes, Resorts Food Court times 10.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably do. But, you can go with the Dunkin' there and the Haagen-Dazs and the Soup Man, because they have pretzels. You can go to the Resorts Food Court like 6 times in a one-night trip and never actually eat a meal there.
Yeah.
So you can still also do the bagel place. You can do your Doherty's happy hour.
Yeah.
Actually, that works perfectly. Doherty's happy hour and then like a late night pretzel or Haagen-Dazs or whatever. Sounds great.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned anything on the Orange Loop.
We could do something on the Orange Loop. I mean, I thought beret was very good when we went. I could eat another jambalaya because it was excellent.
Yeah, the thing that I keep seeing that I really want to try is Cuzzy's Pizza Kitchen.
I've never heard of such a place, even though I'm sure we've talked about it.
It's the old Iron Room space. The old new Iron Room space. When the Iron Room moved next to Rhythm and Spirits and became a coffee shop, that is now Cuzzy's, owned by the same people.
Like the Iron Room when it was like way out near.
That was the old Iron Room space when it was out at the.
Yeah, out near Atlanta Club.
Yeah, except like way out.
Right, but farther.
It was like was it by Bader Field?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was across from Bader Field. So
near Vagabond, I'll say.
Vagabond also, I mean, I don't think we'll make it out there, but
it's very good.
I would like to go back to Vagabond. But yeah, so I was thinking about like, I'd really like to go to Cuzzy's. I'd like to go back to Rhythm and Spirits. And then I saw Bure post on Facebook and I was like, we should go back to Bure. It was very good.
My jambalaya was excellent.
So, I don't know, all those places.
Go to Kelsey's, I've never been. That's also supposed to be very good.
It's true. We have been on a little kick of doing dive bars.
Yeah.
The one that we have not done that's very close to the resorts area is Atlantic City Bar and Grill.
I've never heard of such a place.
So I always get it confused with Ducktown. Because I think it also has a green and yellow sign. And so in my mind, they're very confused, but they're not actually that close to each other. But it looks like a divier version of Ducktown. And it's right there on Pacific, like outside of, I don't remember which one, resorts maybe. That's one option. We could just go back to Piccalilli or Irish Pub, because those are right there.
I like the Piccalilli wings.
Yeah. I feel like if we're staying at resorts, you kind of have to get the Piccalilli wings.
You do, don't you? Especially the last room I had at resorts where it just overlooked literally Piccalilli. They knew what I wanted and they gave it to me.
Yeah, that's true. But we have to do a dive bar, I think.
Okay, yeah, I'm in.
The other thing I always have in my head is I want to go back to Little Water, but I think the only way I'm going to do that is if I'm staying later than you and take a cab out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I just don't think that's going to happen.
It's not something I necessarily want to do. I thought the Seed was fine. I could sit in there while you went to Little Water if you want to do something. But
I would try another flight at the Seed too.
But I'd rather go to a dive bar, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Lots of maybes, no concrete plans. That's how we roll.
Perfect. That is how I roll, literally. So.
Do you have any other trip stuff you want to talk about?
Nope. Because that's how I roll.
Big meetup. Wear your shirts, do for wind shirts. I want to see them. I want to see them in the wild. We'll be there, midday, Friday the 25th to, when are you leaving on Saturday?
I don't know yet. I still have to talk to my wife about it. I don't think it's going to be super early though.
7 p.m.?
Probably a little bit before that. But...
Don't you want to drive me to the train?
in Philly?
Yeah.
I could drive you to the train in Philly probably, but it won't be at 7 p.m.
You did that once and you had regrets, I think. Major regrets.
I picked you up from the train in Philly, and traffic was horrific getting you. So
yeah, I think it's one of those things where if there's not traffic, it's like
it's fine,
barely any added time. But yeah, that's
right.
Rare. So we mentioned some Orange Loop stuff, and this is my perfect segue because Mark Colasso, the owner of Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall, Bar 32, Cuzzy's Pizza, and Rhythm and Spirits, all of those things, was on the other side of midnight with Frank Morano. And it's a really good interview. One of the things he mentions that you should go listen for is his top 3 pizza places. And he purposely did not include his own Cuzzy's Pizza Kitchen. I won't give any spoilers, but you should go check. And but I will say no overlap with Amy S. Rosenberg's list.
Really?
Because Amy S. Rosenberg's list was entirely Boardwalk based.
I see. All I could say is if it has Tony Baloney's, it's pretty weak. But
it does. I'll give that spoiler.
I went once and it was good, not great. It was far worse than the slice that we got at the Steel Pier. Let's put it that way.
Oh, Steel Pier is so good.
It was good.
Add that to the list,
good.
Steel Pier Pizza.
Yeah.
So I'll link to that in the show notes. It's also in our Facebook group if you go to our Facebook group. What else do you want to talk about?
So the Ocean has released some renderings of the new sportsbook they're building that we talked about briefly a couple episodes ago. They were released on Facebook, and I have to say, it looks very nice.
It does look very nice. It's big.
I like the second floor. It really makes it look quite classy, right? With the couches.
Yeah, the sort of
balcony?
raised.
Yeah.
So there's a balcony area,
Yeah, the balcony.
and then there's also like a raised center bar.
In the middle, right.
And both of those things look pretty classy.
The balcony, I think, looks nice. Also with a bar up there.
So I don't know if that's the existing sort of on the balcony bar that's near HQ2, which would mean that this is ripping out like a bunch of casino space.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Or if there actually is a balcony sort of thing that nothing's going on at over the current sports book.
Oh, there is, remember? Because
we saw
were
Mark
there
Wahlberg
at opening, and Mark Wahlberg was up there, right?
He was with the then owner, Bruce Dyfick.
Yes.
May he rest in peace.
And rest in peace.
I don't know if it's that balcony and they're just blowing out the current sportsbook and making it bigger, or if it's going to be over by that, like more in the HQ2 area. The other big addition is outside of this elevated bar is table games, blackjack and such. Are you excited for table games in the sportsbook? Do you not need?
I'm sure they're 6 to 5 or whatever, so it doesn't mean anything to me. But
yeah, the table games in the sportsbook, I don't know. That doesn't do anything for me.
They would have to be 6 to 5, I would think. And like, even the regular blackjack table has TVs, so it doesn't really do a whole lot for me. It just seems like a more loud and crowded version of blackjack table.
Yes, that's true. They named it. It's the Gallery Bar, Book, and Games.
It's no Bill's Poker and Ponies, but no name could be as good as that. Billy's Poker and Ponies.
Speaking of names, not on the agenda. The thing that's going to be out in the courtyard in front of the Dennis Tower at Bally's is going to be called the Yard.
The Yard, the thing we talked about extensively last episode.
The more I think about that, the more I'm into it. I think it's going to be really
cool.
I
think it'll be great.
I have high hopes for that.
I have high hopes just about going to Atlantic City for the first time in 2022. Next week.
I keep thinking, what is going to get our plans canceled this time? Because the last 2 times I've tried to go, it's been canceled. So I've been bitten twice, I guess. And so I'm like gun shy about it.
We'll see.
I'm not even getting my hopes up about it.
Yeah.
Sure, my kids will get COVID and that'll be that.
I mean, that's your kids. I don't see how that affects you.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
You are vaccinated. I mean, I think it's like...
And I had COVID.
It's probably like still a little shady to do that, but only a little shady at this point. Not as extremely shady as it would have been like a year ago.
I think it's not that shady because I just had COVID, so I feel like it's fine.
No, I stick by my words.
We didn't get into all the press release speak from the gallery. There's not too much, but I do have to say, through customizable lighting and a unique blend of rich textures and luxurious finishes.
Oh boy.
The gallery will set the stage for social gaming, big game nights, and an unforgettable after-hours experience.
I think at episode 200, we're going to need you to read the Kiss Kiss a Go-Go.
Oh, I think so. That's still over a year away.
Yeah.
I thought that they weren't going to use the word experience, and then they ended it with experience.
Oh, yeah.
So it is an experience, an after-hours experience.
Hmm.
I hope that it's less smoky than the current sportsbook.
So,
the biggest news in the gambling world.
Yeah. So Caesars has recently changed their rules for their status match, and the page now says Caesars Rewards will not grant status to Wyndham Rewards members who came into their Wyndham Rewards program from a tier match promotion with other programs or previously had Caesars Rewards status that was about to expire, and vice versa. So basically what they're trying to say is that you cannot just match back and forth every year from Wyndham to Caesars to Wyndham to Caesars to Wyndham to Caesars, like basically every human has done the last, 5 years at least.
For a long time.
So
people are big mad.
Oh, really? I can't imagine.
The latest update is that people, including our friend Dave, have been upgraded. They were upgraded in February, and then they got an email from Caesars saying, sorry about that. We're actually downgrading you and you're gold now. So our friend Dave is gold. A bunch of people are posting in all of the Atlantic City and Vegas Facebook groups saying that they've been downgraded. People are very upset about it. We have a question from Dave about it. So Dave said, how will Caesars' ridiculously dumb handling of their diamond match downgrade impact your play at CET properties?
It's obviously not a good thing. It's obviously not well done. It's not well thought out by them, and it certainly won't help my play any. I think the big difference between this and Bally's is that, like, everyone who was doing this knew it was, like, a little bit outside of the spirit of the rules, I guess,
Yes.
right? Like, no one is like, I'm doing this thing, it's completely legit. Like, this is exactly what Caesars intended. When Bally's just, like, decided to randomly downgrade me and everyone else, pretty much, and take away all of their, free dinners and everything, like, I didn't do anything wrong then, right? Like, they just gave me the black card or whatever it was then, and then they just randomly, arbitrarily took it away. And the same thing when Ocean just decided to, like, expire everyone's comps, right? This is much less bad, I think, than those two things that happened.
Yeah, I think if we're ranking them, the Ocean expiring everybody's comps that they earned is by far the worst of those things.
Uh-huh.
The Bally's status match thing is just a complete bait and switch. In terms of, here's this new ownership group at this new casino with a new players club, and they're going to give you status, and then they're just completely changing the rules of the game.
Right.
This is sort of changing the rules of the game, but the game is very shady.
Right?
So
I agree.
And I never felt like I deserved really this status.
No,
and
absolutely not.
Some of the entitlement I've seen on the posts in Facebook groups, I'm a little bit like I understand that you're mad, but at the same time, like, if this is the only way you're getting into Diamond every year, I don't know how much you can really complain.
Well, other than the year I earned it, but yeah.
That's true. Dave did make the point, which I agree with, which is that, if you make this decision now, don't downgrade people. Just say, look, you're not getting the $100 celebration dinner this year. Because I'm going to bet that that's a huge percentage of the actual, like, value that people who are matching this way get it.
I don't know. I bet it's an important part of the value, but so Dave's question is, like, how will this impact your play? And for me, like, the biggest part of the impact on my play is going to be that it makes me a lot less likely to stay at a CET property because I'm going to have to pay resort fees to do that now, whereas I didn't before. So if I have, like, a couple options, like, the Caesars option was always, like, a bit more appealing because I knew it would be $0 or whatever, or I guess, like, what, $5 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the resort fees is a pretty big part of it too, because, like, I don't know how many, just credit card normies were, like, just doing this just to get the $100 dinner. Probably, certainly non-zero, but in our group, in, like, this gambling group, I know a lot of people took advantage of this just to get resort fees knocked off their rooms at Caesars.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the lounge access, but they've sort of adjusted
but they kind of took care of that already, I think.
Yeah, so you need $12.50 in comps, $12.50 in comps, so, like,
or 15,000 tier credits or 25,000 tier credits or whatever it was.
Yeah, so with the celebration dinner, that's also another point. So MGM, they do a $100 celebration dinner now if you're gold, but you have to earn it in that year. So even if you're gold for the year, you have to get to whatever 75,000 tier credits or something. I don't know if that's the right number, but some number of tier credits in the year, and then it triggers the $100 celebration dinner. So that would have been another way to do it that I think would have been an easy way to handle it. But I mean, this is not an original thought. A lot of other podcasters have said this on social media. Caesars surely has looked at the people who have done this and realized that they don't care if they lose your play.
Right.
Like,
no, the Caesars does not care at all if Dave does not come back to the Caesars property.
Yeah, like, they've done the math. They know that a bunch of these people aren't playing. I would guess that you're wrong about how few people are just going and getting the celebration dinner just based on how prevalent this has been on travel blogs that have nothing really to do with gambling.
Just the credit card people.
Yeah, and the miles people.
Right.
Which there's a lot of overlap. And another unoriginal thought that I had is, every year in late January, early February, there are 50 posts about this on travel blogs with detailed instructions on how to do it. And it can only last so long. And I was surprised that it lasted as long as it did with as public knowledge as it was. And I think, like, back in the day when Eric Rosenthal and Michael Traeger and other people were doing this sort of stuff, I mean, a lot of people were doing this sort of stuff, but those are the people who were sort of in our, like, people that we do and had talked to. They were not, like, shouting this stuff from the rooftops. And there was an understood thing that you don't just go, like, publishing this stuff because it'll get taken away. And now that idea is just gone.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I disagree. I mean, believe me, I know some people that are pretty heavy into like the points game and stuff, and that is their opinion on all this. I'm of two minds on that, but yes, I think most people who do like the travel stuff quite heavily would agree with you.
That it's an issue with all the...
That like people who publicize this information are like the enemy, pretty much, because they're the ones that make it go away.
I don't think they're the enemy, because I don't actually care that much if it goes away. Like, I get it while it lasted. Like, if you're looking for a reason, this surely created an influx of people doing it. So, like, that can only last for so long. So I'm not making, like, a value judgment on the people who are doing it, like, who are posting it, but just, know the result is that it's gonna, like, burn bright and hot for a short amount of time, and then it's gonna go away, rather than, like, you're gonna be, like, a few people are gonna be able to take advantage of this thing for a very long time. Is that all we have to say about the hottest topic in gaming today?
Yeah, it's a bit dumb, but it's less dumb than some things some other people have done, but that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We are both still diamond as of today.
As of today. As of earlier today, I was still diamond. I expect it's going to go away because this should capture me pretty much. Unless it's possible when they're doing the analysis on their side, they're like really just taking out the people who like do not gamble, and like we may avoid it if that's what they're doing, or they may just be going through it in some methodical way, and they'll get to us eventually. I'm not sure. It could be. It's 50-50 to me. So
yeah, I mean, it's possible, and I've seen it suggested that it's people who gambled either like not at all in 2021 or earned, fewer than whatever 50 or 100 tier credits, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, every time I get an email, I think I'm going to get the email. I just assume, because I didn't earn very many tier credits in 2021.
There have been points things like the mileage stuff that like I would have been eligible to get caught up in, and I think it's like other reasons I haven't had accounts canceled or like whatever, more or less, or like points clawed back. So I think there are like other decisions that go into this for the companies.
Yeah.
And like basically I think if you're a profitable customer to this casino, like they care about you a lot more than if you were like a deeply unprofitable customer. So
yeah.
I've done a good job, if nothing else, of being a profitable customer for casinos, so unfortunately.
I would guess that I'm like slightly profitable for Caesars, even with the $100 celebration dinner that I actually used. Mm-hmm. And they're just not giving me much with it, right? Like, I'm also not taking a lot out of the system. So I don't know, like, I'm not going and staying a bunch of nights and then no playing them and getting, not paying for a room and not getting resort fees. I guess the comps would go away pretty quickly, but like not paying resort fees and all that stuff.
I mean,
so.
you tried to in February, but you failed.
I did, yeah.
You wanted to no play them, but you couldn't do it.
Maybe that will single-handedly save my diamond status, canceling that room.
Mm-hmm.
The other thought I had is if they don't downgrade us, it has to only be because they know that you can't F with due for a win.
That's true. It's possible, but it's not possible, no.
We'll go straight to our socials. We'll blast them.
If nothing else, you know that I am known for just blasting people on social media.
I do. Yeah, you have a very, very active social media account.
I know. Last posted in 2009, I think.
You like and reply to some stuff?
I do like and reply to things, yes.
So you mentioned paying $5 a night at Caesars with the waived resort fees.
Yeah.
It's no longer $5 a night. It's $7 a night.
We just got ourselves two new data points for 2 properties as well. So
we did. So I need to update all the items. I don't know if there are increases beyond this at certain properties, but as of March 1st of this year, there's a new $2 per day surcharge imposed on each occupied room. In Atlantic City.
Terrible.
So it's a new luxury tax and fee or whatever. I don't know if it's actually a luxury tax, but it's a new fee. And so all your rooms are $2 more expensive. So keep that in mind. And I'm guessing that means that the comp rooms at Caesars will be $7 instead of $5. There was already a $2 fee. What's this new $2 fee? I hate it. I actually don't really care.
All right. So February data.
Hey, I got more to say about this fee.
All right, go ahead.
Shouldn't they be building us a stadium with this fee? Isn't that what Las Vegas did? Go fix up the Sandcastle Stadium and get us a baseball team back. Put Atlantic City FC in there.
We need an Atlantic League baseball team.
I want Atlantic City FC to be an MLS Pro Next or whatever, the feeder league to MLS. Let's do it. They're like not even in USL anymore, I don't think. Anyways, yeah, let's talk about some other stuff.
Yeah. So February data, it came out, and I have to say it looks quite good.
Yeah. Good talk. February data done.
Done. No, it was strong. So it was a $212 million month compared to January, which was a $183 million month. And if you compare it to February 2021, which was a $148 million month, yeah, it looks strong. So the top gainers year over year, Hard Rock was up 59% year over year from 23.5 million to 37.5 million, more or less. Ocean was up also 58% from basically 18.9 million to $29.6 million. So they were the two biggest gainers. The two smallest gainers, because there were no losers, were in second to last place. Harrah's was only, in quotes, up 31% from 15 million to basically 20 million. And then Tropicana was up 8%, which in a normal one sounds good, but compared to everyone else, who was in the 40s and 50s, seems absolutely putrid, from 16 million to 17 million, more or less. So, I don't know.
You mentioned Tropicana last month as a disappointing one, and I think
this is just a disaster for them.
Bally's is my favorite number here, because it's up 54% year over year. It's up 22% month over month. Except that February of 21, Bally's made $6.9 million, which is an unheard of number.
That's so bad.
And January, it made me audibly gasp with $8.8 million. So they're over 10 again. We had nobody under 10, but it's just funny to see this giant 54% year over year gain. And then you're like, oh, it was because they had $6.something million in 2020. We're only down 2% from 2019 numbers, which I think is a really good sign. This is, again, something we've been talking about for months. I think it's sort of back on track for more of the same. I think January I was a little like, wasn't as great, even though you kind of talked me out of it last episode.
Yeah, January I think was good, and February I think is very good. So
yeah, same 1, 2, 3 as usual. Borg number 1, 52.8, Hard Rock number 2, and Ocean number 3. So that's the way it goes. Any other thoughts on the data?
Tropicana's number is bad. That's pretty much it, but everyone's numbers are by and large good.
Yeah, I mean, Tropicana is like way, way down from 2019. I mean, I think from 2020. I think 2021, you can't really compare that directly, because I think I keep saying 2019 instead of 2020. So the whole month was down 2% from 2020, 2 years ago, not 2019. Tropicana, though, yeah, it's down a lot from 2020. Which is, still right before the pandemic. You didn't see the pandemic stuff fall off until March. I don't think people really even knew that it was in the US and prevalent until March of 2020.
Yeah, I think it was like very early March, or like the first couple cases were probably like end of January, but it was like really 1 or 2 cases. It was like not becoming a thing until the beginning of March, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it was affecting anybody's like travel behavior until March. So yeah. Comparing to these early months of 2020, I think is more relevant, and to see Tropicana down just huge from 2020, 17 million instead of 26 million. Like, that's pretty bad.
It's not good. Tropicana is not doing well.
Yeah, I mean, really, Tropicana and Harrah's, I feel like, are both kind of disappointing.
As far as I can tell, El Dorado is just running Caesars into the ground, but we'll see what happens.
And it's all because they're taking away people's diamond status.
That's true. That was probably the thing. And people knew it was coming and then couldn't frequent there.
You know what's going to happen is their March numbers are going to be horrible on the raw revenue numbers. And then we're going to get Q1 profit data, and they're just going to be blowing everybody away.
I know. Yeah, probably.
That's how that works.
Probably.
It's like, oh, now we see.
All right. So anyway, if you want to reach out to us or any of our other listeners, you can do so at our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/DoForAWin. Find all of our great content and buy a shirt at DoForAWin.com. Send Craig questions on Twitter at DoForAWin, or me at Kyle Askin. And you can email Craig your questions to DoForAWin@gmail.com, where he will probably not respond to them, and we also won't read them on air.
Hey, we have one. It's almost a month. Oh no, it's exactly a month old. And Pat G, we will get to it. We will get to it on a slower episode. It's going to happen.
You're awful.
I mean, that was known.
Any last words before we get to Boardwalk Empire?
We watched Boardwalk Empire. I don't have any last words. Come see us in Atlantic City.
Yeah, come see us in Atlantic City. If you know me, you know that there's nothing I'd rather do than talk to you.
That's true.
So we had an episode. We talked a little bit about it before this episode, and just to say there was no Jillian in it.
That's true.
There's nothing more to say. I think that's it. So basically, it was just kind of setting up the conflict, I guess all of the conflicts. We find out that Narcisse is in league with Mazzeria selling heroin. Nucky finds out because his friend in Florida, whose name I don't know, overhears people talking about it and lets him know. So Nucky abducts Meyer Lansky, more or less, and forces a meeting with Mazzeria, where, like I said, he finds out that he's in league with Narcisse and they're selling heroin. Nucky agrees to become part of the group, but I guess slightly before this, we also got to see Narcisse and Chalky's plotline move ahead forward, with Chalky trying to kill Narcisse and failing. And Narcisse is basically demanding that Nucky deliver him Chalky as part of being cut into this deal, which would presumably be a huge amount of money for Nucky. We also find out that it seems like Bader is turning his back on Nucky a little bit and working with Narcisse, though we don't know the full story of that quite yet. I don't know. What else? What else do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Narcisse pulling all the strings. That's sort of where this is going. And
Rothstein and Margaret?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Rothstein's trying to make a play.
Might be trying to make more than one play.
Yeah. Rothstein, we sort of talked about him being played for a rube by this shady stockbroker guy, and it turns out that, Rothstein's trying to be the one doing the playing. What else? Oh, they tried to kill Al, who I'm assuming the people who tried to kill Al are the same people who actually did kill O'Banion, and now Van Alden is with Al, based on the, assumption that Van Alden actually did kill O'Banion. But.
So I think the implication was, at least in Al's mind, that Torrio was behind this?
Yes, it did seem that way.
Do we think, what do we think the odds are that Torrio is the one that actually had O'Banion killed and then tried to do this? Because it would sort of add up a little bit, I think.
It would. They're definitely trying to make Torrio seem kind of dumb right now, and I think that is something that the show does, is try to surprise you a little bit with...
Oh, I don't think they make him seem dumb. He seems like he knows what's going on.
Or not dumb, but sort of checked out, I guess, and annoyed.
But I don't think so. It does it in a superficial way where it makes it actually not seem like that at all.
Maybe I just take everything super literally, and maybe that is how that goes. The other thing is the whole Eli. So Eli is working with Knox/Tolliver, the FBI guy.
It seems like we're about due for Knox to decide to work with actually Eli and Nucky, to me. But
yeah, so he's pissed at J. Edgar Hoover. We also see Eli is helping Knox because he's trying to save his son, but then he realizes that his son is actually already in with Nucky. So there's sort of this.
It seems like Eli may be changing his mind too. So.
Yeah, so I'm assuming we'll get a lot of movement on that, and then also just like you said, the whole setup for the Chalky thing. How do you feel about the last two episodes setup?
Seems fine. I thought this episode was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I said last episode, I thought this is all setting up really well for the last three episodes. And then again, this episode is a lot more setup, but I think it set it up even more in a way where they're the stakes are extremely high. So I think it's setting up very well.
It's interesting to see what's going on with Ed Bader. Certainly, him double crossing Nucky like this. That's not how you get your name on, an important airport / space in Atlantic City. So
I like that Ed Bader showed some stones though, because he's a nobody character in this whole show, and they finally give him a little bit of I'm sure he's just getting paid.
No.
Let's not give this man any credit. All right.
Is
that it for Boardwalk Empire?
I think that's it.
We've only got 10 episodes left in the entire series.
Doesn't make me sad to hear that. I mean, as always, I enjoyed it when I was watching it, but it's something that I sort of dread every week or whatever.
You gotta squeeze it in.
I know. Anyway, thank you all very much for listening, and hopefully we'll see some of you next weekend.
So you mentioned your favorite thing in the world is people coming up to you and talking to you at the casino.
Uh-huh.
But I saw on Facebook you were at Disney World wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt that said Kyle on it.
Look. You can include this. This is fine. This was not an optional thing for me. It was made very clear to me that I had no agency in this moment. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I'm not surprised by a lot of things I see, but I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe that he was. But now, of course, my first thought was, how do I get him to wear this shirt in Atlantic City?
Oh, my Disney World shirt?
Yeah.
I would only do it if you wore a matching shirt with me, Craig.